I saw a post by someone with over 1 million followers yesterday who said that the healthiest thing she could do was to eat ultra processed foods. And I want to break this down a bit because I am a big fan of her account. I'm not going to say who it was because I don't do that. I don't bash other people. But her message was dangerous. Her message was dangerous because she has over 1 million followers, and 70% of Americans are metabolically unhealthy. 50% of children are now obese or overweight. More people have chronic illness, more people have diabetes than ever before, and our genes in the last 50 years have not changed. But you know what has drastically changed? There's a lot, but the biggest culprit, ultra processed foods. Ultra processed foods hijack our brains. Scientists who worked at tobacco companies now work at food companies, and they literally measure how certain food products light up the brain. They measure mouthfeel, umami, they measure satiety, they measure how they can make their snacks and their food products so irresistible that people keep coming back for more. That is not food. Ultra processed food is not food, it's a food product. And basically what this creator was saying was that in the past she really struggled with orthorexia, which is basically where you have this obsession with clean eating to the point where it's detrimental to your life. And what she was saying was she went for a run and she was really, really hungry, and she stopped by a store. She's not American. She stopped by, like, not a gas station, but a convenience store of sorts. And she picked up a protein bar, and she said that in the past, all the ingredients, that full list, laundry list, would have given her an anxiety attack. And in that moment, the healthiest thing that she could have done was to just eat the bar anyway. And she calls out that there were emulsifiers in it, there was fake sugar, there were colors, there were things that she knew deep down she did not want in her body. But she also has this really kind of traumatic history with not making these same choices, right? So this is why I think this message is dangerous. It's dangerous because most of the people listening to the video and reading that caption are going to continue to use excuses and continue to say that their ultra processed food consumption is healthy and that they don't need to switch to nutrient-dense foods. They can just keep doing what they're doing, when in fact this creator has devoted her whole life to being a plant-based vegan chef. So in that moment, was that the right decision for her? Maybe. Will having one protein bar filled with chemicals change your life once a year? No, of course not. But the message is dangerous when most people are not doing what she's doing. Most people have not made a career out of only eating plants. Most people have not made a career out of learning how to cook plants and serve themselves and nourish their bodies with nutrient-dense whole foods like 100% of the time. You cannot, as an influencer or as someone with influence, especially someone with millions of followers, tell other people that eating ultra processed foods are healthy when medical studies are coming out every single day pointing at how detrimental, and I think go to sneeze, excuse me, problematic ultra processed foods are. They're leading to more rates of colon cancer in young people. They're leading to more preventable diseases, but also at the very core, they are not food. They are engineered food products made in labs. And if you live in America, a lot of the ingredients don't need to be disclosed to the FDA. And there's a whole concept called generally regarded as safe GRAS, which basically gives companies the ability to put anything in the food that they want, and then later on, if people start to report issues, they can do testing to confirm that if it is or isn't safe. But if something is generally considered safe, companies can put it in it. And generally considered safe can be, there's a massive umbrella to make that true. It can be animal studies, it can be because it's like a sister molecule to something else that's already approved. Like, the umbrella of approval is basically non-existent, and it is not protective of you. So I feel strongly that you shouldn't have to be super educated. You shouldn't have to make your entire living based around nutrition and food science to understand that you need to be on the offensive. You can't be passive. You have to be actively reading ingredient labels. You have to be fighting for yourself, because these food companies aren't. They're fighting for profits. Just like cigarette companies used to fight for profits, even though cigarettes were terrible for you. They still are. Ultra processed foods is the smoking of my generation. I am convinced of this, and in 20 years, people are going to look back and say, how do we consume that crap? Until then, until that's the general consensus, you have to look out for you, and you have to not use excuses as a way to kind of nullify the fact that you have choices every single day, and that every single day that you choose to consume something that's ultra processed, that has been made in a lab, you, number one, quite simply do not know what you're consuming, but number two, you are leaving your health up to someone else. You are letting someone else make that decision, and that is a decision that only you can make. And deep down, most of us know that if we question eating something, that usually means we shouldn't be having it. It usually means we know better. So I am not saying that a protein bar once a year is going to kill you. I'm not saying it's going to give you colon cancer. Of course it's not. Just like one drink isn't going to once a year either. But that's not the problem that most people suffer from. It's the pattern of excusing their behavior. It's the pattern of saying it's just one drink now. It's the pattern of saying I'll eat healthy next week, or I won't get takeout next week, right? And that isn't actually helping any of us. It's not serving us. And understanding that we always have agency, we always have choice, that is what empowers people, and that is what helps them truly change and get the lives and the bodies that they deserve. Not pretending that eating ultra processed food is the healthiest option for every single person.